Hello, everyone. How's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's play some more Cogmind, shall we? Continuing our complete beginner's guide. So we blew up with our robot. And now what I'd like to do, as you need to do in this game, you just get yourself off the mat and you try again, because this is a challenging game. I am by no means an expert. I blow up all the time. Now, what we did last time was we tried to do a very basic kind of do everything build that was nice and adaptable for whatever we found, but was in no way specialized. And this time, what we're going to do is I'm going to play a more particular build and talk about some more nuanced choices that you can have when you're going about planning your robot. Now, it's always worth mentioning that the best laid plans of robots often go astray in this game, because if you want to have a particular build, there's a good chance that the parts that you want will get blown up and you won't find suitable replacements and you'll need to pivot. However, you can still start out that way. And the very unique thing about Cogmind is because there are no skills that you're leveling up, there's no experience, you're not like stuck with a certain build and can only use the equipment for that build. Yes, some of your choices for expanding the different categorical sections of your robot, power, propulsion, utility, weapon, are more advantageous for particular builds, but that doesn't mean you still can't pivot. So what we're going to do with this time is start out, and we're going to talk about, specializing a little bit more, most specifically in the weapons department. Last build, the robot was just using whatever I felt was the best weapon that we could get. We were overheating all the time, and this is because we were not necessarily taking the time to really think about our weapon choices, not just from the best gun out there, but from planning heat, matter, energy, etc., so that we could get a better handle on our weapon systems. Because those are a little bit more involved, and I just wanted to talk about the basics of the game. So let's do that now. And you can see we've started a brand new game. We're here. And we're on this level. And I'm going to go treads with this build right from the very beginning, because I love treads. The problem, of course, with treads is that they're hard to get. So we will take some legs as a backup propulsion. And additionally, we now know we're at location -11. We don't have to really worry about time, in particular on this level, because there's no hostiles. So we can take our time to kind of get the parts we want, and even blow apart these green robots if they get in our way. First thing I'm going to do is just intercept some of these propulsion systems. I'm just going to push A and get these treads, and push A and get these treads. So now we've got ourselves some treads, and we're moving a little slower, but that's okay. Now this excavator, something that you can do, okay, when you want to go maybe treads, is also examine, are there any friendly robots that have treads on them that I could attack and take their propulsion? Now the excavator has wheels, but it's another element of your decision making in Cogmind, which is that you can just blow these guys apart and take what they have, especially if you see a transporter or some kind of cargo delivery with a truckload full of potentially great equipment. Blow it open like a treasure chest, and there may be some consequences. But the nice thing about Cogmind is that the consequences stay on the previous floor. You heal to full as well when you go up the staircase. So you could have the world melting down and everything looking bad on one floor, but you get to those steps, get a little fresh start, your core heals up, and you don't have to worry about any aggressive enemies that you upset on the previous floor. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about, there's an assault rifle and an EM pulse gun and a medium laser here. So what we have would be an energy gun right here, this EM pulse gun. However, it's doing electromagnetic damage. So when we talk about specializing a little bit more with our weapons, we're looking at what resources does it take and what type of damage does it do. So the pulse gun does electromagnetic damage, and if you click on this, it says these have less of an impact on integrity, but are capable of corrupting a target's computer systems. Anywhere from 50 to 100% of damage done is also applied as system corruption. And EM-based explosions only deal half damage to inactive items lying on the ground, but can also corrupt them. So there's a few things to imagine with these different weapon types. First of all, certain robots and their loadouts may be more susceptible to one type of damage. Second of all, how much damage am I doing to the parts on the robot that I'm fighting? Because sometimes I might want to put those on. So this could corrupt those parts, which might not be ideal. However, it might not do as much integrity damage to the part, which makes it more usable. So there's always trade-offs in this game. And then there is this medium laser. This is also an energy weapon. It does thermal damage. And thermal damage, here we go, wait, have a shorter effective range, but benefit from more easily predictable damage potential and no recoil. Recoil is pretty huge, especially like you saw last game. If you're using big, heavy kinetic weapons, things that have massive recoil, and you're firing a volley, firing all of your weapons at once, your recoil is going to start making it so you can't hit anything after a few consecutive shots. So if you focus on energy weapons that don't recoil, because maybe they're smaller or they're more precise or whatever, lighter, then you don't have to worry about that. And instead, you're going to be focusing on this produces a ton of heat, and it doesn't maybe have as, it still has a pretty good range. I mean, 14 range is fine. So there's that. Thermal damage also generally transfers heat to the targets and may cause meltdowns in hot enough targets. So you can actually heat them up in addition to whatever heat they generate. So that's kind of nice. And then there is the kinetic weapon, the assault rifle. And this thing has recoil, but not bad. This is a light assault rifle, so it's not horrible. Kinetic damage, longer effective range and more destructive critical strikes, but they're less predictable because they have a bigger range of damage, 6 to 10, and also high recoil. But the benefit is that they blast usable matter off the target, which is nice because you're using matter as bullets for the kinetic weapons. And they can knock back. Not bad. So I kind of want to go kinetic, but there's only one gun here. However, don't let what's available in this room stop you from having a particular inclination, because this is just the starter room. There's a lot of parts here. I'm picking everything up. Okay, good. I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to come over here. I don't care if he wants to take the wheels. I'm going to equip the small storage unit to get some more inventory, and I'm going to take a backup engine. So the main things we want backup of, and again, like I said, I'm no expert. I haven't played Cogmind in a bit anyway, and some things have changed in what's available and maybe the balancing, etc. But what were the big bottlenecks? The idea with any roguelike, and you've probably heard me say this if you've watched my guide on Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, Caves of Cud, Tales of Majile, whatever roguelike we want to talk about. If it's permadeath, what you have to do if you want to ever be successful at the game is accept that death is just a learning process. And as long as you learn from it, then... Let me get this assault rifle before he takes it. It's not in vain. And so what I mean by that is what happened, what were some of the big takeaways? Here are some of the big takeaways that I have that I want to use as a learning experience from even our first go. I gave up too early. And that is something that, because I haven't played Cogmind in a while, you have to shift some of what you think is possible. Where in some roguelikes, my situation was so bad that I just assumed I was wrecked. But some of the robots early are easier to take down. And honestly, your robot is actually really strong and has a lot of core integrity compared to them. And you can pick yourself up by just getting a few pieces of equipment and then making it to the staircase and actually rebound. So I have to think that some of the situations that are as dire as I thought they might be, you can actually get away from and make it back from. So don't give up as quickly as I did, number one. Number two, I tried too hard to get to a favorable position, which is something you do in many roguelikes. But because Cogmind is so ranged combat oriented with everybody shooting, I think sometimes, even for myself, I want to get into a choke point or behind a door, but sometimes I have to just abandon that if it's a long corridor and that's not possible and stand and fight. Because even if you do get to a nice strategic advantage because of the terrain, the environment, you might wander into a pack of other robots, and then it doesn't matter anyway. So there's that to consider. And another thing to consider was that what broke first was propulsion and guns. You saw at the end, I had no guns. My guns just broke. So what we want to carry and prioritize as our spare parts are propulsion and guns. Because without propulsion, we can't carry anything. Our support goes down. And without guns, well, we can't do damage. So, having a backup engine is cool. But you don't ever need more than one, at least for now, I don't think, unless you have multiple engine slots or something like that. So let's just focus on that and use those as takeaways. I'm going to pick up this matter. And you can look at the scavenger. What do you have? You don't really have anything that I would want, nothing to fight with. There's matter down here. I'm going to get it. And there's matter over here. I'm going to get it. And, we can poke around, but these are just excavators and scavengers, so there's nothing really for us. We're going to go here. And now we're starting the game proper. And they are giving us a small laser. So I keep saying how what I want to do, let me equip this assault rifle, is I'm going to take this laser instead of the electromagnetic weapon as well. I want to think about going for a kinetic build, but the game's giving me lasers. So that is, a key part of your Cogmind decision-making is being adaptable and using what's available. Right away, we've been given access to a recycler, so let's just use this. Another thing that I want to just integrate or try out in my own process to get better at this game is spending more time on the first few levels when the threat is so low and trying to take advantage of getting as much information out of the terminals as we can, and also explore fully, fight any green robots we need the parts from before we go on, because once things start getting tricky, you're going to want all the parts you can get. So this recycling unit, the chance of detection, because we're, just starting out, is only 20%. So some of the things that we can do here is we can just throw a part in and recycle it. We can process a part that we've put inside, and we can see what's inside the recycling unit itself, I believe. So inside this guy, it's got weapon shielding and a corrupted auto chip. So if you wanted these, you could try to retrieve the components, but you see how that's a 40%. It's not very likely. I don't really need to recycle anything right now. I am okay with how much matter I have. But I can process the parts that are in there, and we did that. And then now we can try to retrieve the matter that's in there. And it failed, we got locked out, and we've been detected. So that's a shame. So I'm going to move away from this. Another thing, here's a terminal down here that I want to talk about as learning from what happened. I have to be much more mindful of standing in rooms that have machines, even if it's a safe place. Standing next to any of these gray machines is a death sentence, and I need to be more careful. Okay, chance of detection 25%, alert level, low security. Okay, so we've been detected, now they're tracing us. I'd love to be able to locate the traps, but I don't know it. Now, by the way, you see up here, this is worth explaining, how it says alert check. If you write down these different commands, I believe you can go into manual and remember the different code words for like checking for traps or alert level or whatever, and try these out. You still have a probabilistic chance that is scaled based on the chance of detection and the security level and all that stuff. And I think you can find these on the wiki or something, but you can actually attempt to like keep track of this stuff if you're interested. I'm not worried about that right now. Okay, so here's a high capacity storage unit. This thing is enormous. Gives us 15. It's super heavy, but you can see it has a mass of 40. I can't even use this with my treads. But if we found more treads, we could use this and carry around a ton. Remember, storage units do not stack. So, oh, here's my buddy, the engineer. Look at this guy. I really, really wanted him to have treads, and he doesn't. It's sad. This is why treads are so hard to get. Okay, here's a bad guy. So this guy sees us. You saw the exclamation point. We're in a hallway. I'm just going to click on this guy and just fire. And he hit our gun. Okay, there's a mercenary back there. We're warming up, but nothing bad. Core got damaged, but no big deal. Okay, so I'm going to walk over, and what's he got? He's got matter. He has a nuclear core and some legs. Okay, I'll take the legs. Okay, there's a scout right here, and this is the exit. So I'm going to try to shoot the scout. We got him. And this guy probably wants to fight. I'm going to step back. And I'm just going to wait right here. This will help us cool down. We're already pretty cool. Here he is. I'm actually going to wait again and then now fire with him right in my face. You see I have 75% to hit with both weapons. I'm just pushing F and F. My engine is getting hit. My laser is getting hit. It is worth mentioning, you see how, like, with coverage, my treads offer the most coverage, which is nice for protecting the core, but bad for my treads, because it means they have the highest likelihood of getting hit of anything on me. The higher the coverage, the greater the percentage chance that that part is hit. Okay, we got this guy, but these scavengers are coming in. I'm going to shoot them. And did you get anything? Okay, I don't know. I'm full on matter. Do I want this nuclear core? How much better than my engine is it? So my engine is worse rating, has worse integrity, doesn't heat up as much, doesn't supply as much, but provides more storage of energy. It's interesting. So the nuclear core gives you a lot of energy per turn, but gives you less storage overall. It's still a higher rating, and usually higher rating is better. Here's what I'm going to do. As I consider it, I'm going to walk over here, and I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to replace my broken ion engine with the fully repaired one, and then just scrap the old ion engine. Okay. So I'm going to keep looking around on this floor. I'm going to push Z to zoom out. There's another exit. You could say, well, why are there two exits? Well, you can explore the different exits, and if you can get information about them, you can actually, and sometimes this is from terminals, you can find out where it will go. So we definitely want a bigger storage unit. There's what, a large storage unit. How much mass is that? 20. So I can easily put this on. And then I'm going to take a backup large storage unit just in case that gets hit, because I can now carry 15, which is great. It looks like pretty reliably the first real floor of the game will give you the excavators are drilling, multiple storage units, so you should probably get a backup, like a bigger backpack and a backup backpack. I'll just wait for this guy to get out of my way. He's faster anyway. Here. I'm just gonna wait. By the way, we didn't talk about this much last time. We did mention the walking and running difference on legs, but we didn't address it that sometimes, even if you forget, you might be running, even if you're like standing there and firing, you might still be running, which gives you a massive minus to hit. So something you have to manage with legs is you might need to stop so that you can get, you'll lose the evasion bonus, but you'll also lose the debuff to hitting. But with treads and wheels, you don't have to worry about like the momentum in that way. Okay, so here is a heat sink. Well, you know what? I wanted to go kinetic just because I thought that would be easier. But if they're going to give me a heat sink, then why not lean into it and use some hotter weapons? I really don't have that many weapons right now to think about, but okay, there's a trooper. So I'm going to just kind of go back this way. I'm going to see if that trooper is following me. Looks like he came through the door right there. I'm going to get away from the big machine. There he is. He is indeed there. Okay, I'm going to step back this way. There we go. Oh, there's two. Okay, this is a good chance for us. So this is my furthest runs in this game have come with treads and being heavy and fighting a lot. And the game doesn't want you to do that all the time, and you shouldn't. But I think the reason I've had the most success doing that, because it fits my playstyle perhaps, but also because on these early levels, these robots are bad, and you can take them down, and then you can pilfer their parts and explore the level, and it gives you a really strong foundation of equipment that you can use. I'm going to step back one more time, and I'm going to fire at this guy. So you can see I'm blasting. My medium laser is about to break, sadly. Okay, that guy's dead. I mean, these green robots are so ridiculous. They don't care at all about being in danger. And I'm going to pick up this. I'm going to come back. I don't know what that other guy was doing, but he ran away. So I have a small laser, which has a range of 12. I think I'm going to equip this small laser. Well, do I want to wait until this breaks or just assume it's going to break? Probably both. Let's use this terminal. Security level 1. Great. So you could see here with branch access points, like I think this is what would give us the information about where the different stairs are going. But let's do this one, locate traps. Okay, so this is the command, traps, parentheses, locate. And now, remember how we got wrecked by traps before? This is something that's great that you want to try to do so that you don't get so devastated by the traps like we did. So now we know where they are, and we've got the command. We can then try something else. We haven't been detected yet. We could try to download the entire map. I want the branch access points. Okay, so they detected us. Let's just move. I just wanted the Hail Mary. Okay, who are you? Transporter. This is what we want. This dude has stuff, usually that he's carrying, but he also has treads. I want to destroy this guy. Look at this. Yeah, he had all sorts of storage units, but he had a medium laser, and he had, most importantly, treads. We want all of this. So, well, I want the tread. I want the laser. What is this item right here? Let me just see this. Enables real-time tracking of haulers across the floor. So this actually lets you see where the other haulers are if you want to, like, attack the supply chain, which is a kind of funny thing to do. I'm not too worried about that right now, but what I am happy about is that we got a backup set of treads. That is huge. So haulers are going to be 2 for 1 for this build. It gives us more treads, and it provides like a big surplus of loot that we can get. I remember I still have this high capacity storage unit as well, so I don't really need any of these storage units. I have a full storage unit. I'm okay. I am going to swap in my medium laser and then just control click that one and get rid of it. I'm doing that because I don't want my gun to break in the middle of combat. That's awful. And let's see, I'm going to come through this way. I don't want to be anywhere near that machine. And here's another exit. Ooh, and lasers and matter pods. Okay. And another transporter. I'm going to definitely fire on this guy. We got to get over here. Where'd he go? What, you trying to run away? He is. Ah. Okay, fine. We crushed that guy. I really, really wanted to kill the transporter because of the treads. And you see I was prioritizing the transporter right there over anything else. I'm going to fight, even though it's like I'm out in the open. The green guys are not going to hit me. And the scout is not going to hit me. I will lose this part probably. Ooh, God, we killed that guy so fast. And that's something to remember. Like, as we're learning on this second run, these enemies on these floors stink. This transporter is also slow. Okay, I'm going to shoot the scout. We got him, which is amazing, and I'm going to kill a transporter. Yes! Okay, so what do I want? Treads. Now, these are corrupted, which is a shame. That's such a bummer. And then everything else that this guy has is not great. Weight redistribution system. Not really as important. So this is interesting because this is a utility that gives you 6 support. So if you were flying, that would be really nice to give you that extra support. But we're on treads, so not as important. So there's a recycler. There's some terminals. I'm going to go back here, actually, and see if there's anything valuable. I have enough legs. The particle gun is energy, massive heat. I'm going to take it. I want more energy weapons. And then what is this? A small laser? Nuclear core? I feel good about the fact that I have 4 legs. So these are corrupted parts. Increase system corruption when attached. But you can clean corruption with repair stations. So we should look for a repair station to maybe use those backup legs, treads. This particle gun is rating 2, and I'm going to equip it instead of my pulse laser. I'm okay with engine. I'm okay with... there's a mercenary that's firing at us. I'm going to actually move forward and fire at this guy. 50%? Sure. Whoa, okay. He hit my core, is what happened. Alright, I'm actually going to step back and fire. Now we can fire this guy. Blew him apart. So let's look at ourselves. We've been just fighting robot. How are we doing? Honestly, remember, the core damage doesn't matter because there's exits everywhere and you get a full heal. That is fine. Our engine is taking more damage than I'd like, but we do have a backup. And there's ion engines all around that we can get. We're looking for higher ranking engines anyway. But there's a full ion engine right there, for example. Our treads are taking damage, which I don't like, but we do have 2 backups. There's a large matter pod. So the matter pod would be, if we want to go kinetic, we'd be doing that. But because we switched over to energy, we're kind of managing our heat primarily and keeping a nice engine to get that going. We haven't hit... Energy itself has never been an issue with 2 energy weapons, and heat is okay so far. But as we start adding more slots, that's going to become a little bit scarier. I don't think there's really anything here that is super exciting. There's a lot of robots. I'm going to actually keep walking. He's shooting me. I get it. Oh, there's a scout down there. I'm going to go here. I tried to shoot the scout. We blew him up, which is awesome. I didn't think we'd hit him over there. He hit our core again for 16. Alright, did you have anything? He didn't, unfortunately. Alright, I'm going to come over here. And what did you have? This is a light ion. Yeah, the scouts always have the light. Okay, so that's done. Let's go to the terminal. Okay, here we go. So these are the lore records that you just want to get for learning about the story of the game. So repair station, query, repair station. So you can see this is the command for manual, is query. And it tells you what this does. And then the fabricator, we learn what that does. And then we learn something else. And you can click on this, query auto chip. And then you can click on derelict. You see how it's in square brackets, yellow. Query derelict. And then look at all this stuff that you're learning. Now, we're getting lucky. We're rolling well. But you see how these are color-coded orange to red? These are increasingly more difficult. Everything that you're learning here is going into your lore log inside the options menu of the game, so you can read this later. Like if I click on caves, you'll see how it didn't work. I'm going to do local emergency access, and it says there's 2 emergency access doors, and we found out where those are. I'm going to click on caves again. We got it. We already got derelict. We could try complex. And it says here, central database compromised, local access revoked. So I believe that means that we can't actually search for anything else here. Okay. They're going to push the alarm, but we got some good information. So, we're... These have been marked on the map for us. I believe these might be the access points. Let me see. Or these are traps. Either way, we're doing so much better, I feel. We have a plan. We're using the terminals. We're fighting a lot more than we did. And we're just getting our knowledge base increased as we go. Now, of course, we're still early on. We're still going to get blown up. But we're having fun and we're learning. And I hope you're enjoying this series like I am. I'll check you next time when we keep going with this robot, trying to balance and just pretend like we have this identity of treads and energy weapons. However, if we get really good stuff that causes us to pivot, we can do that at any time, which is awesome about Cogmind. Thanks for watching. Take care.